The voice is the organ of the soul, bringing out not just words, but the feelings and emotions held deep within. It allows one to express themselves in ways that cannot be explained by any other human being. The voice is the most powerful organ in the body, yet so many people fail to realize they have it and can express it just as well as the next person, like myself. I didn't realize how much power was behind my voice until I stepped into that AVID class, August 17, 2001. My whole world was changed from then on. As a child, I was left with an unhealed heart, causing me to lose my voice, having my ego bruised over and over again by the kids in my classes built up more pain than anyone could think of. I mean, imagine being the biggest kid in your class. By the time I reached 4th grade, I was bigger than my teacher, and that was unacceptable to my peers. At such a young age, I was ridiculed, laughed at, and tormented by my peers. The name-calling, long days of loneliness on the playground, the laughs and the snickers, all made me lose confidence within myself. Most kids love going to school at that age, but I hated it. Some days I was able to get out of it by telling Mommy I had a tummy ache or a sore throat, but that didn't last long because my mom caught on quick. So I tried telling her how difficult it was, dealing with the pain day after day. But she felt like most adults would. Kids will be kids and left it at that. I soon gave up on everything, knowing I would never fit in. I literally stopped talking in school and began talking less at home. I felt as if I kept everything to myself, my life would be better. So at such a young age, I learned how to keep my feelings bottled up, unable to express myself. No longer allowing anyone to hear what my soul was saying, my voice was lost. So as early as I can remember, I would have to say around 1st grade, I've learned to keep my feelings bottled up, unable to express myself. But as you know, you only can keep things bottled up for so long before the pressure begins to build. And that's exactly what began to happen as I suffered through adolescence. By the time I reached sophomore year, all my emotions of anger, hate, sadness, depression, loneliness, just about every bad feeling possible. It was reflected in my grades. They had dropped from A's and B's to C's. My demeanor at home and at school had changed. At school, I didn't have a long attention span, letting my mind wander. At home, I was more aggressive. Everything made me mad, and I would explode. Not only was I trying to cope with the pressure I already had, but more and more was added to my shoulders each day. Like not knowing if when I got home, my belongings were still going to be there, because my mother's now ex-boyfriend might steal them and sell them to get his latest high. Or the fear of going to bed, because I didn't know if the disease my grandmother had was going to overtake her. And what caused me the most pain was my father was snatched away from me just at the time we had begun to build a real father-daughter relationship. That was the worst time in my life. By the 2nd semester of that year, I knew I had to do something. And that is when I realized how important AVID really was in my life. The first 2 years of AVID, I kept my distance, not allowing anyone to get close to me. I would show up to class every B-day, go through tutorials, and whatever activity my AVID teacher had planned for me. But as soon as that bell rang at 10 o'clock, I was out of there, not having much to do with any of them. I felt as if these kids didn't know me. They couldn't possibly understand me. But I will never forget the day I was actually able to open up to them. At the end of my sophomore year, our class took a trip to Cal Poly, and I sat next to this girl named Cecilia, who is now one of my best friends. I sat next to her, and for some reason, I just opened up to her, allowing her to see another side of me. Not just a girl that came to class and sat for 2 hours, not daring to utter one word. Amazingly, she did the same. She opened herself up to me and told me so much about her life, To my surprise, we had been through a lot of the same struggles. Well, that was on the trip going to Cal Poly. On the way back, the bus broke down. At the time, I was a little upset because it was like 110 degrees and what looked like to be the middle of nowhere. But I have learned to live by this motto: all things happen for a reason. And that day, the reason was clear. Not only was I given the opportunity to open up to Cecilia, but the majority of my AVID class. Little do you teachers know how truly inspirational these college trips are. Well, as my relationship continued, each one of these kids have done something in my life to help me find my voice. It could be Christina helping me on homework, or Miguel just making me smile on those days I just wanted to frown, or Jasimen joining the track team just to keep me company. All 27 of these kids have become my brothers and sisters. They accepted me for who I was. With them, I felt a sense of belonging, something I had never felt before. Then there was my AVID teacher, Mr. Shanley. He was more than just a teacher, but the father figure I never had in my life. He was laid back and outgoing, yet at the same time he was straightforward. He was like a father with 27 kids trying to send them all to college. Yet he understood us and taught us so much about life. He would encourage us to get involved on campus, in clubs, sports, and student government. He would make us take rigorous AP and honors courses and prepared us for tests. He was someone who cared, and that is something I cherish even now. He cared, and my AVID brothers and sisters cared enough about me to help me find my voice. Now, if I hadn't found my voice, I could have surely become a statistic. Because as a young black female, research says I should be a mother, on drugs, a high school dropout, and have mental problems. But with the help of AVID, as well as my community, family, and self-determination, I have beat those odds and found my voice. I am not sexually active. I have never taken a drug in my life, including alcohol. Not only do I have my high school diploma, but I was honored to use my newfound voice as graduation speaker in front of the class of 2005. And no, I don't have any mental problems. The only thing you might find crazy about me is I love to laugh, but who doesn't enjoy a good laugh? Those last 2 years, I dug deep within my soul and found that voice I lost as a child, and I made sure everyone heard it loud and clear. Those last 2 years were the best years of my life. I broke a meet record in track, qualified for the state track meet, won a speech contest, was in a handful of clubs, and some I held office. I challenged myself by taking AP courses with the goal of going to college. I stand here before you, a strong black female, ready to conquer the world. I am proud to say I have just completed my freshman year at CSU Stanislaus. As a sociology major, I aspire to get my master's degree in social work and open up a group home for troubled kids. And with the power of my voice, I hope I can help them dig deep within themselves and find their own voice. I know my dreams will come true. I know I will accomplish my goals. Because AVID has taught me anything is possible.